Welcome to this press conference between Minister for Defence Pål Jonson and Ukrainian Minister for Defence Denys Shmyhal. You will now witness a letter of intent signing on defence innovation, followed by a short statement by the ministers.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's not forget them. Good evening, everybody. Dear Minister Shmyhal, dear Denys, warmly welcome to Stockholm. I know you've been in Linköping every day visiting Saab. It's a great honor to have you here today. And today is indeed a significant day for Swedish-Ukrainian defense cooperation. Russia's illegal war against Ukraine is a serious threat to Europe and European security. Sweden strongly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and freedom. Supporting Ukraine is both the right thing to do and it's the smart thing to do. And it's also an investment into our own security. Sweden's support to Ukraine is unwavering. So far, we provided support to Ukraine for $9 billion. And for the next 2 years, we allocated also another $8 billion in Ukraine support. Sweden will continue to contribute to Ukraine's defense and Europe's effort to deter Russian aggression. We had initial talks now, and we're going to be having deliberations later on today, and our teams have been meeting also today. And I want to convey 3 things which are important. First, we just signed a letter of intent on defense innovation. One of the most important features of this is that we will establish a joint hub in Ukraine where Swedish personnel will be working on defense innovation. So Swedish personnel will be on that side in Ukraine. This will strengthen our shared ability to develop and produce new battlefield technologies. We also recently tasked the Swedish Defence the Swedish Defence Research Agency, together with the Swedish Armed Forces, FMV, and our innovation agency, Vinnova, to set up a defence innovation unit within the Swedish Armed Forces. This defence innovation unit will work very closely with the defence innovation unit that we are establishing also in Ukraine. As you know, Sweden is top ranked in the world when it comes to innovation, but we also have lots to learn when it comes to innovation from Ukraine. Ukraine can bring hard-earned experience from the war, and you have an amazing defense ecosystem where you work also with very good and effective innovation cycles. To that, in cooperation, that Sweden brings also a world-class defense technology and a strong defense industrial base. And together, we can move faster from ideas to weapons in the hands of the warfighter, both Ukrainian warfighters and also Swedish. Second, an update also on the export of Gripen Echo to Ukraine. Since the meeting in Linköping between President Zelensky and Prime Minister Kristersson, a lot of work has been done. Ukraine earlier submitted a formal request for information. And I can confirm that Sweden sees it as possible to deliver Gripen Echo warfighter aircraft within the requested timeline that the Ukrainians have asked us for. This includes training for Ukrainian pilots and technicians. We have also agreed on establishing a joint working group to move this forward. This is the beginning of what we hope and assume is going to be a very close partnership between our 2 air forces and between our 2 defense industries and between our 2 countries. It's not only about aircraft, but it's also about building a new air force for the future defense of Ukraine. Third, we will also discuss the electronic warfare coalition. Sweden and Germany is co-sharing the electronic warfare coalition, and there's another 12 countries who are part of that. Electronic warfare is a key component for Ukraine with handling the attacks by drones, but also cruise missiles. And this is going to be another important dimension of the deepening bilateral and trilateral cooperation also between Sweden, Germany, and Ukraine. So once again, Denys, warmly welcome to Stockholm. Great seeing you. We had the pleasure of meeting in Bodø a couple of days ago, but very nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Minister. Dear Minister, dear Paul, distinguished Swedish friends, it's a great honor and privilege for me to be here today in Sweden, among reliable partners, among friends who continue to demonstrate unwavering support and solidarity with Ukraine in our fight against Russian aggression. We are grateful for this. Since the first days of the full-scale invasion, Sweden has stood firmly by our side, and we so much value that deeply. The Swedish nation have provided more than $9 billion in assistance to Ukraine, as Minister have said. The latest 20th defense aid package included Archer artillery systems, Trident Mk2 air defense systems, Giraffe 1X radars, armored vehicles and ammunition, and many others is preparing, and we are grateful for this military assistance so much. We are sincerely grateful for all types of support, all the dimension of support. It's very important for us that Sweden also confirmed that its assistance will continue. The Swedish government has announced around $8 billion in military support for 2026 and 2027. Thank you for this announcement. It gave us assurance that we will be not alone into the next years and periods. We also appreciate Sweden's participation in the Pål initiative, which enables Ukraine to receive American-made weapons. Sweden was among the first contributors with a $275 million commitment. Sweden is also actively supporting a partner-buy model, which helps our defense industry to scale up production. Through this cooperation, our armed forces already received 400 deep strike drones. These are weapons that undermine Russia's capacity to wage war and bring a just peace closer. Day before yesterday, as Minister noted, we both visited JEF meeting, and it was absolutely historical event for us, and I'm grateful for this type of support. Ukraine became participant of this meeting, first time in our history, and now we have this partnership with JEF, and it's absolutely crucial for us. We may develop our innovations, our knowledges. We may share our experience with 10 nations which launched JEF more than 10 years ago as a response on the Crimea occupation. So now Ukraine has this platform as a historical moment to cooperate with Sweden as with all other Nordic nations, with United Kingdom, with the Baltic nations. Thank you so much for today's signaturing of the MOU. It's absolutely crucial and important for both countries event, and I support a message of Minister that it will give us new opportunities for development of our innovations, development of, I would say, platforms for cooperation and acceleration of our strengths. Electronic Warfare Coalition, thank you so much that you highlighted this. It's crucially important. More than 50% of Russian drones landed now with support of electronic warfare. So this coalition is one of the most important in in the light of modern air defense against of Russian aggression on civilian infrastructure by drones. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear Paul, today our key focus is the development of Ukraine's air capabilities. Especially we are talking about the potential transfer and the potential contract of Gripen fighter jets from Sweden. During President Zelensky's visit to Sweden, an important step was taken in that direction. We hope to see these aircrafts in Ukraine skies as soon as possible. It will be absolutely helpful for us to protect our cities and provide battlefield cover to our troops. Ukraine has also proposed joint defense production projects that would combine our capabilities, including the co-development of surface-to-air interceptors and the co-production of radar systems. It's important for us to localize some types of co-production there in Ukraine, and thank you. Yesterday and today we have very good results of discussions between our businesses, companies for development of such kind of cooperation. These are among the most promising areas of cooperation, and we discussed them in detail today. Today we also begin discussion with Saab company for concrete steps. Today we will continue our discussion for concrete steps, next steps, which will include, as you told, total ecosystem, not just jet fighters, but ecosystem, beginning from the training of our pilots and mechanics, and then development of infrastructure and development of conception of future air defense forces for Ukraine. It will be very similar with Swedish Air Forces as of today, and we would be grateful for this type of support. And I think that it will be a complex ecosystem which we will develop together. And actually, this is part of our agreement. Thank you so much for this. We also addresses ways to strengthen Ukraine's air defense right now. We would be grateful for additional missiles for our existing systems. They will allow us to counter Russia's air terror against civilians more efficiently. We ask about this all the partners because we are in the face of the difficult winter and Russia continues their terror. So we are grateful for all types of support. Thank you so much once again, and thank you for staying with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ministers. Now we will open up the floor for some questions, starting with TV4 over here.
So, hi, Jessica Josephson, TV4. Can you give an example of what you can immediately produce in this innovation hub in Kiev, I suppose? And can I also ask you, when will you start training mechanics and pilots? Is it here or in Ukraine? And if you could say something about what's going on in Pogrodsk.
Thank you so much. So, 3 questions. The first, innovations. This is not about immediate production of something in Kiev. This is more about technologies, experience, knowledges, and we are ready to share it. And it covers some spheres from IT innovations to engineering innovations. So it's different types, and we are ready to share it with engineers, with IT specialists, with innovators in different spheres. We will share actually knowledges, spheres of different experiences from the battlefield. We may test it directly there in Ukraine on the testing fields, something directly on the battlefield. It will be Ukraine approved, as they say. And this is the main idea. And then we will decide when something is tested, when something is innovated, we will decide how to produce it. And there are different approaches. We may produce it here, so like build with Ukraine, or we may build something in Ukraine. And as for now, we have different types of innovations which could be produced, beginning from the drone interceptors, which we need dramatically now to protect our sky, to deep strike drones, which we now continue develop as a technology, not just drones, but also missiles. And actually, we have Swedish partners, companies, which are ready to develop some part production here in Sweden, and it will be very helpful. The second, training of our pilots. It's naturally that they will begin train here, because all the infrastructure, all the specialists are located here in Sweden. So we ask, and we actually discuss this, we ask to begin training as early as possible. We have some professionals which we are ready to send to Sweden directly nearest time and to begin this training. Actually, today we visited Saab facilities. I personally checked how everything is going on, and simulators and all facilities for training are absolutely ready. And as I hope, when Swedish government and Mr. Minister will help us and support us, will take the decision that we will go ahead with training of Ukrainian pilots and mechanics, we are ready immediately to send personnel to Sweden here. So the answer is it will be here in Sweden, not in Ukraine. Situation on the front line. So as for now, the front line is not changed dramatically for the last months, because we create, we will name it drone wall. So there is kill zone, 5 to 15 to 20 kilometers, and nothing alive or no equipment can't move in this zone. There are some weather conditions, such as a fog, for example, or rainy weather, when drones are not so effective. And during this time, Russians try to go to cities. The most difficult situation is in Pokrovsk. They try to infiltrate in Kupiansk also, but in Kupiansk situation is easier. There is about 60 Russians on the streets, in the basements of the houses. We will clean the city and push them out. There in Pokrovsk is a little bit more Russians, about 200 Russians infiltrated in the streets and some basements of the city. We continue operation to push them out of the city. So there are some street fights in some streets of Pokrovsk, but Pokrovsk city is under Ukrainian control. City council, center of the city is under control of our soldiers, our defenders, and we continue fight for this small but very important for us cities.
Swedish television, SVT.
Tack. Mr. Shmyhal, could you elaborate on when this joint hub could start production in Ukraine? And also on Gripen, when will you sign an actual contract, do you think? And when do you expect the first fighter jets to actually be delivered? And a question to Mr. Jonson, if you could elaborate, please, in Swedish, this hub, what is it supposed to do, and how many Swedish personnel are supposed to be there, and from when? Thank you.
May I clarify the first part? You mean production of what in Ukraine? Of Gripens or something very concrete?
No, this letter of intent for the joint hub, when you think it will be active?
Okay. Actually, we are interested to begin as it will be possible, so as early as it will be possible. As of today, we have, I would say, many agreements and concrete letter of intents or even contracts between Swedish and Ukrainian companies. I can't name the names of Ukrainian companies because Russians will destroy their facilities, but we have it as of today, and we will continue. We have some platforms, some forums, some conferences for cooperation. Our embassies works very productively, so we create such platforms, and this hub will give additional possibilities to cooperate. So I hope that this cooperation will begin nearest time. I can say tomorrow or in 1 month, but nearest time. Some of the agreements are signatured, so it will go on. I think in very short period of time. About cooperation with Gripen, we are interested. As Minister said, we are interested to sign contract for Eco model of Gripen. So it's one of the newest one, and now we discussed the quantities. Now we discussed the first steps and schedule. How will we move? The schedule of beginning and finalizing the contract will be agreed nearest, I think, days, maybe week. And then, if it will be possible, we will announce this. But we are interested, and we discussed this possibility to have Gripens from Sweden directly next year. And my president announced this, so we will discuss this with Mr. Minister, and then we will go to the governmental level. We are ready to sign the contract for the future eco model, but we will ask Sweden as a friend to supply, to transfer to Ukraine existing fighter jets to protect our sky directly next year. So this is our idea, this is our hope. Thank you.
Om jag då kan, angående innovationshubben, så ska man ju veta att vi har en närvaro redan idag i Ukraina i form av Försvarets materielverk som har personal på plats. Vi har också FOI som har på roterande basis personer på plats. Vad vi har tittat på är att EU-kommissionens representation har en innovationshubb. Vi skulle kunna använda de strukturer som vi har på plats med FOI och FMV tillsammans med den strukturen som vi nu bygger upp, där Försvarsmakten är det vi kallar för fodervärd, där de jobbar tillsammans med FMV, Vinnova och FOI för att bygga upp den svenska innovationscellen. Om jag skulle vilja lyfta fram ett område vi är väldigt intresserade av att jobba vidare med Ukraina, så är det obemannade system i alla domäner, inklusive den maritima. Vi har jobbat mycket på stödet i det avseendet, men vi skulle också arbeta mer kopplat till innovationsinriktat. Sorry.
Swedish Radio.
Same question about Gripen, and when do you think that you will receive Gripen C or D next year? Is it how long will the training for the pilots take until they are ready to take on Gripen? And you said that in the coming days or weeks you should have a schedule for Gripen E and how to continue. The funding seems to be the big question here. Have you found a way forward how to finance this? Thanks.
Thank you so much for your question. Actually, I will repeat, we discuss the final schedule. We understand that this time between beginning of training the pilots and then delivery of the equipment of the platforms to Ukraine, there will be difference, maybe half a year. So now we calculate this and discuss this, and then we will go to the details. I have no these details right now. The second part of your question about finances. So we have four variants for financing. So the first one is confiscated Russian assets. It will be our contribution to this contract. The second, it could be a contribution of Sweden, as Sweden finance our military needs. So it could be part of this contribution. The third part, it could be fundraising money from European partners, as we do it for many projects. And the fourth source for financing, it could be international financial organizations. We will decide it we will discuss today possibility to go to the negotiations with international institutions to give a loan to Ukraine to pay for Gripen as a project for the next, for example, 30 years. And I think that it will be a very significant part of this financing. So actually finances from international financial institutions. So this is our idea, and we will go ahead with this idea to finance from the four sources this contract.
One final question from AFP.
Breaking defense. We heard that Zelensky expect delivery of Gripens in next year, 2026, and we heard the Swedish PM said within 3 years, and now you said Sweden can deliver according to the requested timeline. What is the requested timeline? Can you be more specific,
Absolutely.
Defence Minister Jonson?
Absolutely. I'll be very clear on this. So what we're doing today is establishing a joint working group so we can work on financing. We're establishing a roadmap so we can have confirmed dates on and having an end date where we hopefully also can sign an agreement. In regard to the request of the Gripen Echo, it's Saab says within 3 years of a contract they can deliver on Gripen Echo. We don't exclude in any way the possibilities also of Charlie Delta version as well, and that would be shorter than in 3 years. So that could be a potential gap filler. We're going to be working a lot on those issues as well to see what we match and your requirements and so forth. So that's along the thinkings. But for Gripen Echo, the production time normally is 3 years, and then Charlie Delta could possibly be quicker. And we just have to confirm the needs and the training and so forth.
Thank you. This concludes this press conference.
Mm.